Hi guys, Brand here, and welcome to the video I wanted to make yesterday, but I couldn't because the chapter drop was so buggy and messy that I had to talk about that instead. Today, this is usually the video we talk about the changes and how we feel about them in the new chapter update. Laura and her perks dropped, and also massive changes to both Night and Singularity, which are have come to mixed reception. Kind of a blessing in disguise because I was able to get in contact with different people using the new perks, maining the characters, and they gave me their feedback on how they feel about it, so I got a little bit more of a well-rounded opinion. So that's pretty cool. Maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Anyways, go ahead and talk about it. So first off, I want to talk about something that I kind of harped on in particular here on this channel that was not really widely publicized, but Trickster finally did get unkill switch. They finally did resolve the epilepsy bug issue. If you actually go in and you play a survivor match against Trickster right now, the flashing part of the vignette has been entirely removed. It is now just like no longer a thing. So theoretically, the bug has like zero chance of happening now, because now the vignette just goes from white to blue instead of having some sort of flashing effect as it transitions upon receiving knife hits. So theoretically, it's not possible that can happen anymore. So I'm glad they fixed that. That makes a lot of people more safe. Obviously, we had at least one reported instance of somebody going to the hospital over that. So that was kind of scary. Thankfully, they ended up being okay. But gladly, that's fixed, and that's okay. You can play Trickster again. So, also, Beaver did say that even if it does somehow crop up again, they are going to immediately kill switch them and not make the same mistake again. So, good turnaround. Good turnaround on that. I'm going to go over the killer stuff first because I have a 70-30 split when it comes to my survivor killer favoring, and that kind of reflects my audience as well. So we're going to do that in that order. First off, we're going to start positively with the Singularity Changes. The Singularity Changes are pretty amazing. I am considering making them my secondary or tertiary because I already liked Singularity because I like climbing skill curves, and I mentioned them in the last video we talked about this. But Triple Strike is a regular in my streams, and they build request me to play Singularity at least twice a week, and it's gotten me to learn the character. And once I actually got moderately okay at the character, I literally, like, it's like Emperor's New Groove with Pacha. When the sun hits those mountains, they sing, or whatever the quote was. That's why I felt with Singularity. I'm like, this character's really frustrating. But once I actually started playing them pretty regularly, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty fun. The only gripe I had with the changes that were going to come through the Singularity was the auto lock in the biopod cameras, because that was part of the skill expression I enjoyed a lot, was hopping in the biopod and very quickly trying to locate the survivor, very quickly trying to slipstream them before they got away. That was fun for me. It'd be like if the Xenomorph's tail attacks just kind of like auto trailed to the survivor. Like, the fun is the risk of missing and pulling off something that's hard to do. The fact that it was just going to be automatic kind of took some wind out of my sails, but they're going to later in an update just make that a toggle that if you hold down, it'll do it, but otherwise it's just going to function the same. So best of both worlds, Hannah Montana, we're getting both, which is very, very good design from Behavior's part. So I like the way they went with this. And it seemed like at the end of the day, and as it should be, Singularity Changes ended up being more quality of life changes more than just making the character super easy. That way everybody can bully people with him, which I enjoy a lot because that's what they should have done. The appeal of playing Larry is that he's hard to learn and hard to master, and that's what it like appeals a lot of people to the character. So the fact that it just feels better to do that and not just removing the identity of the character is great. Awesome. Now we get to Night. Night is a little bit more of a mixed bag. This is funny because it's one of those things that, like, I personally didn't run into very much when I first started playing. I was like, something seems kind of off, but I really can't ID what it is. The thing I could not ID what it was that the guards now have a universal cooldown, which is extremely long, that they did not have in the player test beta. It used to be, or the public test build. Sorry, don't attack me. But the Night used to have in the PTB cooldowns for each individual guard. So even if you had Jailer on cooldown, you could still pull out Karn whenever you want. Not whenever you want, but like right after that. So that was very, very helpful. It helped your kind of macro sense and testing your knowledge of what guards are good at what areas and what situations and which situations. But now every single guard goes on a universal cooldown, which I didn't really notice too much when I first started playing, but I definitely see now how much that can definitely hamper gameplay and make it hard to have that expression of, okay, I'm picking a specific guard for a specific situation, because now there's kind of no reason not to just use the same guard whenever you want and not be forced at all to kind of rotate and pick the right ones for the right situations. I've seen a lot of content creators kind of like freak out about this one and say that Knight is now D tier. I don't think it's that severe. I still think generally a lot of the Knight changes that came through make him feel more like a macro game killer, which is what I always wanted him to be. He used to be a killer that kind of just amounted to some slight macro play, but mostly you're just kind of playing for the sandwich gameplay of I put me here, I put guard here, and I win chase for free. That's kind of like what people really liked about the character. But the initial design of the character was a character that was like a commander, and he had little pawns he could throw all over the place, but it didn't really pan out that way. This feels far more reflective of that. I enjoy that way more. But yeah, the cooldown thing probably needs to go. There's no reason for the guards to be all in a collective cooldown. It was fine in the public test build in the PTB. It was fine that way. So I don't know why they didn't just keep it that way. I don't know why they made that adjustment. Maybe behind the scenes at Behavior Interactive, they were just like, this is too strong. His results are too good. Need to break him. I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but they decided to do that before live. Should probably just revert that because the character was fine. Finally, I am happy to report that while playing out there playing DBD through all the bugs, the Lara perks didn't seem to have too oppressive of an impact on games. There was plenty of times I got hit with the finesse, and they quite clearly made it through the window because of finesse, but like, it goes on cooldown for 30 seconds, right? So unless I chase really, really poorly, it's not going to come back and haunt me and affect me later in that same chase. It's just like a one-trick pony sort of thing. It's not like lithe or balanced either, where it buys so much time in the chase. Like, don't get me wrong, finesse can buy you a lot of time in chase, but it's more based on like the loop that you're at, right? Like, for example, somebody really bodied me in a chase on Wretched Shop because they got the original Fun Bus, the strongest one, and they finesse vaulted that window, and Fun Bus is really strong, so it extended the chase by a lot. But in a later game, somebody finessed vaulted like an L wall T wall, and it didn't matter. So like, it thankfully doesn't seem to be as strong as I was kind of worried it was going to be. Still got to keep an eye on that for people trying to look for ways to make that strong, but thankfully it didn't seem to be an issue. I haven't really run into hardened like at all. That was kind of my forecast when the perks were revealed and in the public test build, was that it didn't seem like hardened was going to be really prevalent at all, and it continues to not really be prevalent. I see most people, if they're bringing a perk like that, they're still bringing Calm Spirit. Once again, I'm sure this is probably more helpful in a group, but you can say that about most perks in Dead by Daylight besides the aura reading ones, to be honest. So yeah. The specialist is the one that like was the most scary, but I feel like just even with all the gen bugs that are happening right now, I didn't really notice situations where a solo specialist gamer was causing a lot of trouble. I have not run into a group trying to abuse it yet, so that may be where the strength of the perk actually lies. It's the same thing happens similarly with Bardic Inspiration. Is that Bardic Inspiration, if you bring it by yourself or you try to use it as like a solo kind of perk, it doesn't really give you a tremendous amount of value. It's still helpful, but if you're using it in tandem to give everybody else the buff and you're coordinating with that, then it's way better and it kind of becomes an actual gen perk. I'm wondering if Specialist will still end up the same way, but we're not even through the first week yet, so we'll see. If you remember with Bardic Inspiration, people kind of didn't figure out that it was really good until later. People were just like, haha, hee hee, loot perk, meme perk, and then people were like, wait, this is actually good. So hopefully this is not another one of those situations, but it very possibly could be. Very possibly could be. I'm going to be doing more testing hands-on with those on the Survivor things tonight. I'm going to be solo queuing a bit, and then tomorrow when I do open lobbies over at twitch.tv/TheMrHeadache, where we do open lobbies where anybody can join. So I can see how those perks feel from the first-hand perspective and not just like facing them and watching Survivor streamers use them. So I can get a more hands-on feel for how they are. But yeah, that is how I feel about the major changes that came through with the Tomb Raider chapter. How do you guys feel about it? And remember, I've already made a video about the terrible bugs that are going on. If you want to hold discussions about those, I prefer those stayed on that other video. But in terms of the night updates, the Singularity updates, the Lara and Lara perks, let's talk about it. How'd you feel about it? Did you enjoy it, or do you think it was kind of a dud update? Let me know down in the comments below about that. It's gonna be it for today's video, friends. But I do upload daily, so I will see you tomorrow. And if I did not, I will see you when I see you. Goodbye.